take this country back, it's going to be activists that does it, and you're it. Praise God. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Let's get that guy a
Nothing ever gets done until activists get involved. And we're going to take this nation back, doggone it. We're going to take it back for God and the Constitution.
Yeah, it's part of the green.
But it's only through activism that we're going to do it. And you are the reason that I'm here today. Praise God. I'm just so pleased to serve with you at this time in our nation's history. God bless all of you out there. I appreciate you very much. Yeah. Wow. I'm here today to talk about martial law, but most of you probably know a lot about it. But I want to tell you what our intel officers are telling us at our 2 police and military associations in Idaho County, Idaho. That's where we moved our operation about 10 years ago, 9 years ago now. And we work 12, 14 hours a day as volunteers. This is my 28th and a half year as working as a volunteer with our police and soldiers. And I want to say to all the FBI agents listening in today, and the CIA agents walking among us today, and the DEA agents and the DOD agents here today, all you agents, I want to tell you I'm talking about today, we are talking about today, your children and your grandchildren being slaves. And you don't forget that, you undercover agents that are walking among us today. My brothers and sisters in uniform, but you're not in uniform because you're creeping and sneaking among between us today and among us today. If you ever want to have kids, if you do have kids, these people here are the ones that are going to stop them from being slaves in America. Praise God. We are not domestic terrorists except against tyranny. We are domestic terrorists against tyranny, which we have in the highest levels of this government today. The Congress has let us down. The Senate has let us down. The Supreme Court has let us down. They just passed that phony Second Amendment bill that says, yeah, you have a Second Amendment right, but the government has a right to regulate it. How phony is that? You know? Unbelievable. And here the NRA and others are saying, wonderful win for the Second Amendment. Well, I read the UN Charter, folks, and if you read the UN Charter, you know that you got the right to free speech, but underneath it, it says, except where the government says you don't. You got the right to this freedom, except where the government says you don't. And so the Supreme Court says you have a Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms, except where the government says you don't. Now, that's not what the Second Amendment says. That's not what it says. And besides that, folks, we have to understand this, that we are the sovereigns in this nation. We are still the sovereigns in this nation unless we give it up. Have you given it up?
Oh, praise
God. All right, I haven't either.
Just like his.
But I'll tell you what this means is we have to understand that we cannot bring our nation back under just the Constitution. It was James Madison that said, our Constitution was made for a moral and religious people and is wholly inadequate for the government of any other. So unless we get back to being a moral and religious people, the Constitution doesn't work. It was made for a religious and moral people. And the founders said that over and over and over again. Now we're no longer a moral people, we're no longer